Some of you look rather young to me, but at my age, everybody looks young, okay? But what I want you to know is I'm going to talk to you as an adult. I'm going to be a little graphic at times. I'm going to be very clear at times. But the reason I am is because when I was your age, I was not facing the decisions that you're facing today. You're facing adult decisions. And in order to make an adult decision, you need adult information. So that's what I want to do for you today. So please understand, it's going to be graphic. But I'm giving it to you in hopes that you can understand what you're facing and make good choices. My prayer is that when you're through here today, no matter what you hear, that you can never walk out and say, if I had known differently, I'd have made a better choice. I want you to make good choices. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Sex. It's fun, and you're going to love it. It's really, really enjoyable. God made it that way. Why did He make it that way? For one reason. Two reasons, I'm sorry. Two. Come on, let's have some participation. What are the two reasons we have sex?
To reproduce.
To reproduce. And pleasure. That is correct. But it was so special. And you know, when you have something really special, you kind of protect it. You don't just use it all the time. You keep it to yourself. You keep it close. You know, that special ring, that special this or that. What is the boundary that God put around sex?
Save it for marriage.
Save it for marriage. Do you know something? This is one of the first times that I've done this in two different countries. I don't know how many, but anyway, first time, because you know what the regular answer is? Condoms and pills. She's not right. It's marriage. Now let me ask you a question. Would everybody in the room who's married, please raise your hand? Okay, put them down. Let's try it again. Put a hat on here. I want you to be a hat. I want you to be a teenager. You're not an adult right now. Okay? Put your hats on. You're going to be a teenager from now on. Thank you. Okay, how many of you now are married? How many of you are engaged? Wow. So, God made this so simple for you that you can never stand before Him and say, gee, I didn't understand it. Because it's this simple. No marriage, no sex. Not even the day before your wedding day, you're still not married. Can you remember that? No marriage, no sex. We somehow get it in our mind that if we don't have sex on our dates and everybody else is doing it, then we're going to be different. We're going to be weird. People are going to look at us differently. So let's look at sex a little bit. If you are sexually active right now, and there may be someone in this room that is, I am not here to offend you. I am not here to condemn you. I'm here again to share the truth with you in hopes that that truth will change your mind. Now, if you change your mind, there is such a thing as called second virginity, whether you're a boy or whether you're a girl. This means from this day forward, after hearing the truth, you decide that you will be abstinent until the I do's are said and the rings are exchanged. Now, if you're seeing someone right now and are sexually active, and you go back to them and say, I heard this fat, funny little red-haired lady say, that she said, and I made the decision. Now let me ask the guys and gals, if he says, well, if you won't produce, I know someone who will. Is that really the love you deserve? No. Never. I know if you don't do it, she will. You see, girls, we fall for this stuff, and guys do too. It used to be all the guys put the pressure on us. But you girls are getting pretty aggressive. And you put the pressure on too sometimes. And through that, we suddenly find that we waken and give in and say yes. So how do we get to this process when we find ourselves caught in an area, in a room, in a car, and find ourselves wondering what we're going to do because our heart's telling us one thing and our head's telling us another? This is the part I like because I can take your shoes off. Okay, you're at school. You're standing at your locker, or you're at a game, sitting there in the bleachers. You're at a movie theater or party, and all of a sudden, you see him. Or you look over here, and the guy's looking, oh my goodness, look at that girl. She is, did you see? And the heart starts going. Next thing you know, the gal comes up to the guy. Gal comes up to the guy and says, I've been watching you walk past my locker for 2 weeks. And I have so wanted to talk to you, but I've been so afraid because you're so handsome. And you know what? You need to feel the muscles. This guy is a man. Woo, woo, woo.
Poor thing.
Then the guy comes along and sees the girl.
What's happening?
Has anybody told you how beautiful you are, Jacqueline? I wanted to ask you out for a date for probably 3 months, but I have been so scared. I have her phone number and
Good on you.
I'll get it out of the phone, but after that, first thing you know, you're at home doing your homework, minding your own business. And your telephone rings. Hello? Yes, this is her. This is he. You what? When? Friday night? Your heart is beating. This guy is a hunk. This girl is beautiful. And in your most calm voice, you say to them, you'll say, can I pick you up Friday night? And in your quietest, most sophisticated voice, you answer by saying, uh-huh. They come to the door and knock. Take you to the movie, to the dance, to the party, whatever it was that they invited you to. After which, guys can take the gals can take the guys. Doesn't matter. Usually there's food involved. But after the food, what are you laughing at? Been there, you know what I'm talking about, do you know? After the food, there's always that little need for a chat in a quiet place, all by ourselves, so we don't get interrupted. Alert, 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 alert.
You got your guns and powers.
I will tell you that sex does burn calories, but remember, you still have to be within the marriage Okay, so now we've stopped to park to talk. And before you know it, there's some kissing. And then there's a little enforcement. A little bit of, you know, I've been waiting for you. I've always wanted to have sex. I've never had sex before. But I thought maybe, since you're so special, you'd be the first one. I won't tell anybody. And you know, I really kind of love you. And it would be really good.
Sounds like Romeo and Juliet.
Like Romeo and Juliet. Girls, if you don't have a plan to say no. Guys, if you don't have a plan to say no, because your heart's going to speak louder than your head's going to speak, you will fail. Right then and there, it is over. Number one, you should never get yourself in a compromising position. But number two, if you find yourself there and you're in this car, I'm going to tell you how to get out. It is so simple for you. Not so easy for me, but I'm going to show you. No, I'm older, okay? You're in the car and the pressure's on. And he's beginning to tell you how much he loves you. And you know something, girls? Guys, you deserve better than 5 minutes in the back seat of a car. You're created after God.
Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short. Oh, but you're so handsome, and but I've heard about you, and we could have sex, and it would be, I'm just sure it would be amazing. You're so beautiful. All I want is just to love you and to show you how much I love you. The Bible says, what does it say about what you should do when temptation appears? You're sitting in a car. You're sitting in a car. The pressure is on. Guys and gals, here's the answer. Grab a hold of the door handle. Pull it open. Shove that door open and run! Keep running! Keep running!
Kay, come back! Come back, Kay! Kay! You! There you go.
Keep running! The Bible says to flee! Sounds silly, but it's true. I'm not a Genesis. Okay, let's just for a moment say that you chose not to flee, that you made the choice to stay. Okay, we've all made mistakes. Obviously, Julie and I have made plenty. I'm not here to condemn you, but let's just go through the options here. Shortly after that, the guy or the gal may be going around the school and whispering, you don't have to in front of him. Didn't take me very long to convince him. She was a pushover. Okay, so now the days start going and you start counting on your fingers. And your period is late. Take a pregnancy test, and sure enough, you find yourself with an unwanted pregnancy. Okay, at this point we have 3 choices. None of them easy, 2 of them good, none of them easy. The easy one was when I took off on a dead run and kept running. First choice, carry the baby to term. Love it with all that you can. And then with all the strength you have in you, gift that baby to a family who wants to keep it. I know the adoption laws in Australia are not easy. They're not in America, and they're even worse in other countries. But you never regret life. Second choice, carry that baby to term and determine to keep it for yourself and raise your own child. Now I can tell you, and sadly enough, this is a fact, when you find out you're pregnant, the first thing you're going to want to do is tell the father. Statistics worldwide show, hang on to your hats, you can tell that boy that you're pregnant, the one who loved you so passionately in the back of the car, who would do anything for you back in the car. 90% of the boys will have moved on from you after that announcement within 30 days. Doesn't matter what your choice was. Or if you just get rid of it, we'll have it later. We're just too young, we can't afford it, this is not our time, what will people say? He'll be gone. Chances are you'll be left alone to make that decision. And again, I've never met anyone who regretted life. Second choice, third choice, the one Julie and I made. It's easy, it's quick. They're going to tell you everything you want to hear. The father said it's what he should do. And let me say something to the boy here. Just, you know, if if it should happen, God forbid, but if it should happen, and you come up and a girl comes up to you and says, guess what, we're going to have a baby. One of the things that men will say, one of the most common things is, I'll stand by you, whatever you want to do. What the girl hears is, I don't care. A man should be a man. If he was a man in the back of the car, he's going to be a man standing in front of you when he's brought life into the world. And he needs to say, we'll have this child and you and I'll work it out somehow. You may never get married, but you never regret life. When Julie and I had our abortion, we consistently wondered what color eyes, what color hair, what would she have done, what would she have liked. Okay. The other thing we have to look at is we're told there's two things that will save you when you become sexually active. Do you know what they are? Can you tell me? Condoms and pills. Let's look at it a minute. The pro-choice, and I prefer to call them pro-death people, come into your school, show you how to put it on a banana, put the condom on. Condoms are only 70% effective when put on correctly. When put on correctly. Number two, these same people tell you, gee, I could offer you condoms at a good price. They're usually seconds and defectives. I wonder why. Two, pills. They will offer to sell you pills so you can be safe. The sad thing is, pills don't keep you safe because either way, and also they sell you the low dosage pills, I might add, so that your chances of pregnancy are higher. And why? Because if all else fails, you can run back to them, give them $300 or $400, and have an abortion. It's all about money. Also, these two things will not protect you against something else, whether you're a boy or a girl. A broken heart, when you realize what you've done in the year, wishing you'd have waited, and disease. Somebody will say there's no diseases around here. I've never heard of anybody. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a girl walk up to you, one of your girlfriends, and say, guess what? I went out with Frank Friday night, we had sex, and I think I've got herpes now. Of course not. You don't talk about it, so you don't think it's random. But let me tell you, 1 in every 3 sexually active people. If you took, let's see, there's 4 girls right here. If they're all 4 active, one of these girls right here would have a sexual disease. And you know what? Sexual diseases, when I was a child, there was only 3. Back when the dinosaurs roamed the world, well, it was easily cured. Nowadays we have 33 and counting. Many of them you can never get rid of. Many of them you will carry your full life through. Some of them will prevent you from having children. Don't believe oral sex is safe. It is not. There are diseases out there. All you need to do is touch the genital of a person that has it. And you've affected yourself. We're not playing games. God didn't say this just to be mean. He said it to protect you because it's special. Let me just close by saying this. I've got so much more I could share, but I can't. My time's up. Let me just close with this. Each and every one of you have heard enough of the truth to know what you should do. Don't put yourself in a position that's going to put you in a bind. Guys, don't let the girls put pressure on you either. Wait. There's a reason God designed it that way. My prayer for each one of you today, and I mean this with all my heart, my prayer for you is that one day you will stand before your priest, before your pastor. You'll stand in a white wedding dress that's beautiful with a church filled with flowers. The man who God created for you for the rest of your life will be standing there in a tux. Your family will be all lined up. You will exchange the vows. You will exchange the rings. And you can look at him in the eye in private one way after the wedding, and you can say, I come to you with no diseases, with no history. I come to you with no apologies. I waited for you because I knew God had somebody very special for me. Oh yeah, at school they laughed. They told me I was stupid, everybody's doing it. I was kind of excluded from some of the clubs and the groups because I was too old-fashioned. It was too stupid and I wouldn't give in. But I knew you were worth waiting for. I want you to be able to stand before your partner, clean and pure, with no history. Go out and have a party, have your reception, dance, do whatever it is you want to do. And then the two of you go off together. Have the most amazing sex you've ever imagined in your wildest dreams. And you know why? Because you did it God's way. Yeah. And you never failed.